What is up everyone, it's CMG here. So Overwatch 2 released their most recent trailer of the new hero, Vendetta, showing her inside the game, and from it we get a much closer look of her abilities, passive, and her ultimate. So first of all, and we should clear this up straight away, Vendetta is a damage hero, not a tank. Everyone thought that due to her muscular stature and movement on the battlefield made it seem obvious that she would be a tank. However, Overwatch have since stated that Vendetta is the game's first ever melee damage hero. Now, like it's been mentioned before, she will be available to play test next week from November 26th to December the 1st. Now then, this is Vendetta'S full kit, featuring her abilities and her perks. Now, considering we haven't had the chance to play test her yet, the only thing I can do is assume, both from my own thoughts and from the trailer, what this might be like in game. So first of all, we have to talk about the weapon, because unlike other heroes and their weapons, it looks like Vendetta has two different stances. Her attack stance, which will be her greatsword, the Palatine Fang as it were, made out of hard light that she uses to form strike combos, and this would be how you would usually perform normal attacks, like how Reinhardt swings with his hammer. Of course, with Vendetta, this will be in the form of heavy destructive slashes with the sword. Now the other stance, warding stance, is more on the defensive side of things, and you're using your sword to block enemy attacks, almost like a Reinhardt shield and a Genji's deflect had a baby. Now this will also deflect melee attacks as well, so people like Reinhardt and Brigitte, for example, are going to have a problem with this. Maybe even Doomfist if he attempts to rocket punch directly at her. So players who use these heroes and go up against Vendetta with a defensive stance will need to be wary of their timing of attacks. Again, like I said previously, this is all my own assumptions. Now, her abilities are rather interesting. So we have Soaring Slice, Whirlwind Dash, and Projected Edge. Let's start with Soaring Slice. Now this is probably going to be Vendetta'S aerial mobility, in a sense that she'll be able to throw her sword up into the air, or perhaps in any direction, and then she's going to be able to fly to wherever it goes, either to be used for a hurling attack, a ground and pound maneuver, or even if someone tries to push you off a map like Lucio if he boops you, you can trigger the ability and then rescue yourself from an environmental kill. Pretty handy ability that. Whirlwind Dash will be a basic attacking ability in which she rushes forwards at the enemy and performs a spinning 360 slash, which will probably do a ton of damage on impact. May even be an AoE kind of ordeal if she lunges into a group and then performs the move. Could contribute hugely to a team onslaught if damage is heavily inflicted by it, and then the team follows up. Could be pretty devastating if executed at the correct time. Finally, we have Projected Edge, and this will be available only when you're in warding stance. Now, this will work in a sense where if certain amount of enemy fire is consumed by her sword while she's deflecting, she'll be able to execute a wide projectile and then hurl it back at the enemy. And the more energy is consumed by said fire, the stronger the projectile is, and the more damage it inflicts. Kind of like a, I don't want your damage here, let me throw it back at you kind of ordeal with this. Let's remember, this is only my own assumption, this could be completely wrong, but it's just my prediction at this very early stage. Vendetta here also has a passive ability called Onslaught. Now, I think the way this will work is if you successfully land strikes on the enemy, you'll be able to move faster and increase your attack speed, kind of like an adrenaline rush. The more enemies you hit, the more you're inspired to attempt more, and you keep going until you take on more in front of you. I think that's how that's going to work. Okay, so Vendetta'S ultimate ability is known as Sundering Blade. Now, I would like to think this is her own idea of Ryan's Earthshatter. The only difference is, instead of just stunning everyone in front of you, this attack is an up into the air, one giant slash through the ground, and it'll do major damage to anyone it hits. The best way this was shown in the trailer, I think, is the duel between her and Junker Queen at the very end, where she goes up into the air. There's a massive aura around her. Junker Queen kind of looks up and then she slashes the sword down and then the damage is dealt right there. It looks like a crazy ultimate at first glance. Of course, every ultimate will have their weaknesses. Perhaps Reinhardt has his shield up when she performs this. He kind of protects the people behind him. The idea that she cleaves through defensives might even render Reinhardt's shield completely useless anyway, and then she does damage. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. Finally, we can take a quick look at the perks as well. Obviously, there are 2 minors and 2 majors. You'll need to pick one or the other to craft different strategies. The first 2 minors are Siphoning Strike. Overhead Strike gains 30% lifesteal, or Relentless. Onslaught can stack 3 more times, so if you're striking through enemies, you're going to do tons more damage as opposed to if you don't have this selected. So yeah, Onslaught can stack 3 more times, increasing attack spread by 5% and movement speed by 4% per stack. Wow, that's kind of strong. Now, the other ones are the mages, so we have Swift Vengeance. So the last player to land a killing blow on you becomes a target. So it's kind of like a revenge kind of ordeal. So whoever shoots at you first, or whoever does it, if you're able to destroy that one person who killed you last, or hit you last, you gain 125 overhealth. So you heal yourself while you do it, and it resets all of your cooldowns as well. So if anything's on cooldown, if you kill that person who last hit you, it will completely deplete all of your cooldowns. And then we have Raging Storm. Whirlwind Dash continues to spin, hitting 3 more times for 40 damage. So obviously when you do your Whirlwind Dash, it'll last for much longer, so you'll deal more damage that way. So that's going to be crazy hard for anyone to deal with you if that's going on. Alright, so there we have it. Her kit has been explained and assumed to the best of my ability. Now then, the question from me to you, the viewer, is: what are your thoughts on Vendetta'S kit? Do you think she is going to be an easy hero to learn? Or do you think this hero is going to be one that is more catered to a much higher skill ceiling? Let me know in the comments and I'll do my absolute best to respond to anybody. Alright, so this is going to be the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this idea for content and you want to see more in the future, go ahead and click on the subscribe button. Send a comment, like the video, and then turn on your notifications. It really does help me out a great deal. You can also check me out on all of my other social medias, my Twitter account, my Discord, and of course my TikTok. Let's not forget as well my Instagram, my Threads, and my Blue Sky. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Have a great life. Be nice to your fellow gamers because we're all human beings. I've been CMG as always. Until the next video, I shall see you later. Peace!